Good afternoon and welcome to Chatty Walks with Angela. My name is Angela and I am on Queen's Promenade in Kingston upon Thames, Kingston Riverside, and I think this is my massive ability to predict the weather. I think that this is the last day that London's going to get summery weather this what shall I call it, season. It's September now. These beautiful plants. This is a sensory garden. Isn't it beautiful? So this is maintained by volunteers. Let me just show you through the sensory garden. Absolutely stunning. If you follow my channel, welcome if you're new to the channel. If you follow my channel, you will know I don't know plants terribly well. I can see that's a rose because it says so, Buff Beauty. We have a Buff Beauty here. And we have this absolutely stunning picture. Look at that. Of a, I can't remember the difference between a seal and a sea lion. Our Freddie. Put it in comments, the history of our Freddie. And here we have this lovely mural of the yachts and the plants. And if you see here, it's got a little sign about the sensory garden. Here we go. Sight, colours can change your mood, smell, scents, oils, fragrance and perfumes. And it does smell lovely actually. Can't actually smell the river here, but I'm here with Luke.
Hello, how's it going?
And I'm just giving you a quick look along the river, teasing it, touch, planted varying textures, stems and foliage and the like. And then we've got a life buoy here. Isn't it lovely? Very, very nice here. It is a Saturday afternoon and everyone's out enjoying the very hot weather. It said 26 degrees on the car temperature. Got a paddle boarder here. I'm looking at Ravens 8. Somebody mentioned in the comments on a previous Kingston video that they pronounce all the islands along the Thames as 8. And I think that's probably correct, but it's the ones that have the spelling EYOT that always confuse me. Is that an EOT or is it an 8 in ancient English? How did we pronounce these things? Okay, so let's just point you along the river towards Hampton Court. See if there's any of the boat trips going today. I can see some geese. It really does smell of the river here. Hello, no, we haven't got anything for you, I'm afraid. No. And another thing you'll know if you follow my channel is I have a sensible, careful respect for geese and swans. Put simply, I don't always trust them. So let's go for a walk. So that's Ravens 8. It's the Royal Cafe restaurant and bar. It's had mixed fortunes, that place. You have to travel by boat to get there. You can't actually walk. There's no bridge across the river. I actually wonder sometimes, I think we could do with a pedestrian bridge across this part of the River Thames. I think it would be hugely helpful. But anyway, that's just my view. Saturday afternoon, middle of September now. Spot on in the middle of September. And as I said, I think this is going to be the end of the hot weather. Storms are due. If you sort of look in the distance, you may be able to spot those sort of towering clouds. And if we don't get storms today, I think we're forecast to get some tomorrow. And I don't mind, I like a storm. I actually quite like a storm. Just going to show you some of the plants. So as I said, the volunteers have done an amazing job along here of upgrading this area. I'm just going to give you a wander along the river, a tiny bit of history, little nose around the Queen's Promenade and then into the marketplace in Kingston. And it's going to end with a few shots in a coffee shop. That's going to sound a bit strange, but you're going to get a few coffee shop shots today. You may have noticed I've started adding in a few cakes and coffee shops to the channel, and that's because we like coffee shops. Why not?
Yeah, they're very nice.
They're very nice. We do enjoy a coffee shop. So we do like to end a walk there. So I thought, why not share it a bit? So it says donations welcome, and they've got a QR code here for the volunteers. It says here the Pocket Park. Just show that to you. We are in Pocket Park Wednesday PM, Saturday AM. Pop in and say hello. Queen's Promenade Friends. Here we go. And they've got a green flag aboard 2023, 2024. It's a great community venture, this one. I can see, actually, I don't know if you can see up on that tree. There's a bird box up there. Don't know if you can catch that plane. This is a refilm of this walk because there's one thing the Osmo Pocket doesn't like is hot weather. So I filmed here before when I was out with my friend Liz to celebrate my birthday, and everything crashed, absolutely everything. It just kept crashing in the heat. So let's just wander up here. We'll just mildly depart from the walk. Just keep pointing you towards the river. You see those people messing about on boats, paddle boards. You come at certain times of the day, the canoe and yacht folk are out. And we're just parallel to Portsmouth Road, which is here. That's Palace Road there, and they've rebuilt the wall. A car went straight through a wall just over there. It's very dramatic. They've rebuilt it now. That's one of the roads that would lead you up to Surbiton. Surbiton Station, that type of thing. So I'm just going to show you this. A bit fast there, sorry. There it is. It says Queen's Promenade. Opened in 1856 by HRM Queen Victoria. And I'll tell you a little bit about that shortly. View towards Hampton Court Palace, that it is. That it is. You can't actually see it from here. That's Home Park, just over there. And Home Park takes you straight through to Hampton Court Palace, the gardens. So let's give you a view in that direction. As I said, loads of people. So we've got the canoeists out with their instructor on the boat, no doubt giving them lots of instructions. And then you would have Hampton Court on the lock, Hampton Court Bridge all the way up there. Ravens 8 in the middle. And there's some people, they hire boats. You can just see people working out how to use them, which I always think is quite brave actually, because it's quite a busy bit of river around here. Let's head back down, and then you've got this viewpoint here. Don't know if you can see that. I think all the information may have been sort of, gone faded and things like that on there. But let's walk down here. So I've got a bit of info for you as we come into a shady spot. So as I said, it's about 26 degrees today, hazy sunshine, but everybody's going to be out enjoying it, believe me. So on Queen's Promenade, until the 1850s, the banks of the river towards Kingston, they were nothing more than a gravel pit. It was not an attractive place. And this all changed when local property developer by the name of William Woods saw an opportunity to build an exclusive walkway along the river between Ravens 8 and St. Raphael's Church, which you will see. So here we have the canoeists canoeing away. It's supposed to be really good for you, canoeing. That's why I have those rowing machines in gyms. I have done kayaking, do love a bit of kayaking actually. Even one day in Jamaica I went out kayaking, and the whole rental lot said, "You're going out in these seas?" It's like, yeah, I love a bit of kayaking. So you can see we've got one of the pleasure boats over here, and it is packed today. That one's heading towards Hampton Court, but it is, as I said, my goodness, that's the busiest I've seen one of these in most of the summer actually. My goodness, that is a busy old boat. So that's the Connaught. Just wondering which of the companies that belongs to. Wave to everybody on the boat. Wave everybody. Woohoo. Smile, you're going to be on YouTube. And we got a nice green boat here. Now where was I? Got distracted by all the messing about on boats. So yes, this is supposed to be an exclusive walkway along the river between Ravensgate and St Raphael's Church for residents of the new villas. So some rather lovely villas got built here. It's a lovely spot. It's a lovely spot. Hello, fluffy dog. Very excited dog there. I'm getting too distracted, aren't I? Sorry. I love it along here when everybody's enjoying the river. It's a nice atmosphere. So new villas on Portsmouth Road, but what the council did was offer to help fund the development of this walkway if William Woods agreed to allow access to the promenade for all members of the public. So not just the private residents. Here's the toilets, in case you want to see the public toilets. Well used, they're actually well used. And for Lukey here, that's one of your waypoints, isn't it, for knowing where you are?
It is, yeah.
When I come and pick you up.
Nothing says waypoints like some good old toilets.
Exactly. So we've got a little map here, Royal Borough of Kingston upon Thames, telling you where there are life buoys. Now, Queen Victoria. So in August 1856, Queen Victoria was returning from the Claremont estate in Esher when her carriage was diverted along Portsmouth Road. So Portsmouth Road is an ancient coaching road, I suppose, shall we call it, track, and all the way down to Portsmouth. So all sorts of people would come from the city of London, stop on the way, get drunk at pubs in Esher. There's a story of one coach rolling over in the ice and the snow. I think everyone was so drunk that it didn't really bother them. So all good. So the Claremont estate in Esher, Queen Victoria's carriage was diverted and she was greeted by hundreds of cheering school children. And thus was the Queen's Promenade officially opened. 5 years later, after initial neglect, it was rebuilt. Okay, so it sort of crashed and burned a little bit. It was rebuilt, widened from 6 to 9 metres, using stone from the old Blackfriars Bridge. Now, it very quickly became very popular for strolling by the river, but also for, nefarious activities. According to one resident of Kingston who wrote a letter to the Surrey Comet in May 1891. The Surrey Comet, I love that the Surrey Comet was already in operation in the 19th century. Any sort of locals in this area will know the Surrey Comet. Just going to point you along the river again a moment. You can really, I just love the sunlight on the water, and I actually, amateur weather forecaster that I am, I'm going to say it's probably the last chance to do this, unless, we get some nicer weather, usually pop up out the blue at some point. So let's see how that all works out. So, Surrey Comet, May 1891. On Sunday evenings, the parade was given over to a number of roughs who occupy all the seats, indulge in various sorts of horseplay, use disgusting language, and their general conduct drives away those for whose enjoyment the parade is intended. There you go. Now, in 1896, it was extended as far as the High Street, which is where we're headed to right now, when we reach Kingston. So, Kingston at one end and terminating at the boathouses outside Ravensgate, which is where we started the walk, at the other. By the turn of the century, huge crowds would gather on the promenade to enjoy the boating regattas around Ravensgate. So here we have houseboat. There's quite a few of them along here. Some of them are lovely. Who fancies it? Who fancies the abandon of boating life? So just to return to the idea of an 8, I mentioned Ravensgate, and as I said, there's also this spelling EYOT. And if you look at one of my other walks, you'll see that I've gone past some of them further east along the river from here. So the 8s are little islands along the Thames, of which there are 30. They may be accessible by car, by footbridge, or only by boat. And I genuinely think Ravensgate could do with the footbridge from here over to the other towpath towards Hampton Court. I think that would be great. But I guess nobody wants to fund it. So this boat's been being done up for a while, actually. Last time I was here, they were working on it. Now, I love this cafe. Ginger Bees Cafe. Part owned by a coffee shop at the end of my road, actually. So it's just lovely. I don't think it's open in the winter. Might have got that wrong. I don't think it's open in the winter. It wasn't open last time I came through, actually. And it was a beautiful day then as well. So here you would pay for a single cone ice cream, you would pay £3.80, and for a double you would pay £4.40. So that's how much you would pay for an ice cream. Sorry, I didn't catch the coffee prices. And now here we've got the signs for Parr's boat. So that boat that we saw that was really busy, I think it might have been Parr's, but I'm not sure. Adults £9 for a 50-minute circular river trip, child £6, and OAP £7.50. And you can get a family ticket, 2 adults, 3 kids for £32. Cash or bank transfer only. Sounds bank transfer. Cheques don't do anymore. So here we go. So there was a boat at 3, and that would possibly be the one that we saw. There's another one at 4:15. I've been on it along to Hampton Court. I love the boat trips along here. Big fan. And then Sunday, the first one's at 11:15. Let's head forwards a bit, see if I've got a bit more history I can give you. It's the Lady M. The Lady M has been here for years. As long as I've been walking along this river, the Lady M has been here. And this rather, I don't know what this is. I suspect it's in use though. You can see, I don't know if you can see. It's actually very shallow. I don't know if you can quite catch that. You can see the plants at the bottom. It's a very shallow bit of water. I mean, if it rains next week, which my amateur predictions say it will, then it will fill up. And obviously several years ago, well, a lot of years ago now, we had severe flooding along here. Let me just see if I can give you a view here. So this is Portsmouth Road, and then you've got this lovely Queen's Promenade metal thingy, technical language as always, here. Really nice. Right, let's slowly turn around. So I mentioned the volunteers and what an amazing job they've been doing here. I've just shown you a really good example right next to us. So during the course of the 20th century, the promenade and its gardens sadly fell into disrepair. Many of the original ornaments lost to history. Can I show you these seats, by the way, which I think is a lovely thing? So these are always put in the memory of certain people, often people who enjoyed coming along here. And I think that's a really nice way to sort of respect, to remember people who very much enjoyed this area. I know I love it along here. But even though it was sort of falling into disrepair, as you can see, it is popular and it continued to be so. And in the last few years, the Surbiton stretch, now through to Kingston, it's been massively regenerated. It's more pedestrian friendly, bike friendly, and then we've got the controversial cycle track right next to us there on Portsmouth Road. Made it very, very narrow, but in use by cyclists and scooters, judging by that guy who just went past as well.
I've never ever seen these.
If you were a bog standard boating type and you want to moor here, so it's got mooring. This is obviously not a bog standard boat. This is the Achilles, which I think has been also here as long as I've been walking along here. So it's a really long time. If you want to moor, you can moor for free for your first 24 hours. And if you don't return for 48 hours, then no fee. £10 each subsequent 24 hours otherwise. Your maximum mooring is 72 hours. No return within 48 hours. And so it's been a bit controversial. They've had to remove boats that were moored without payments. Not these, I should be saying. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think so. And along here it smells of river again, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it does. It's a strong smell of it.
Strong rivery smell, but hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that
There's
at all.
nothing wrong with that.
No. We are approaching Turks boats. Now, what a lot of people don't realise, I mean, you see Turks boats going up and down all the time. What a lot of people do not realise is that they were here in the 12th century. So when Kingston was established as a town in the 12th century, Turks were crafting vessels and boats since then. That's a long ass history, isn't it? That's a really long time. And to me, the bit that I love about Turks is that it was one of their boats that was used in the Karma Chameleon video for Culture Club. Anyone remember the Karma Chameleon video? Looks like something from New Orleans or something like that. And it was, it was one of their boats. And they filmed it over at Shepperton, so further west of here. So there you go, a bit of pop culture history. Karma Chameleon video, one of the Turks boats. You can't actually see one of their classic paddle steamer boats today, but they do have at least one or two paddle steamers. They go down to Richmond as well. So today's times, there you go, adult 860 single, 1160 return, child 650 or 850. Looks like they're not doing Richmond at the moment. As I said, because I think the summer season finished and then we got the nice weather again, as we tend to. And what do you know? Everybody's out and about. I don't know if anyone is watching the video that's new to the channel. If you are, welcome. Especially welcome, of course, all my lovely supporters. It's just the loveliest community on this channel, it's fair to say. And I just had a lovely comment this morning from somebody. And you know, a lot of you watch and you don't comment or anything like that, which is absolutely fine. Because I don't comment either on YouTube videos. But occasionally some of you will pop out and say, hello, I love your videos. It's like, thank you so much. It's very, very motivating. It's quite a competitive area, walks in London on YouTube. And I really do try to fill a gap of casual narration, bit of history, a lot of just showing you what's going on, a bit of poking in coffee shop windows and maybe the odd shop here and there. Swanage Blues. Swanage, the classic British seaside town just along from Bournemouth. They got people having ice creams. I wonder where they got those from. Thinking, where's the nearest ice cream spot? Because it's quite warm, so they melt pretty fast. Another boat being done up, Sammy's Dream. You can see we're getting closer to the bridge now. We get even more of those clouds in the distance. I was just hoping we'd catch enough of the sun before it clouded over. I was actually looking at the cloud radar. How nerdy is that? It's like, oh, let's look at the cloud radar. Am I going to be able to catch enough of the sun before it just starts to cloud over? So here we are, Bloom Gelateria Italiana. Okay, so that's presumably where people are getting their ice creams from. It's new to me, I haven't seen that one before. Yep, and it's reminding us yet again, go Bloom! We won't be going there right now because, well, actually, there's somewhere else I want to go. So, this is Riverside Vegetarian, which I've been. Luke, you've been, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Good veggie food.
Yeah, I used to be vegetarian, so
Yeah.
gave it a try.
Yeah.
Very nice, actually.
It's really good. Yeah, it was one of the first, actually, when I came here decades ago. This is the Mill Pub. Yeah, but Riverside Vegetarian has been here for decades.
Wouldn't mind trying it again
Yeah.
at some point, even though I'm not a vegetarian anymore.
I know. I love this build. I can't catch it now. Nice little overhang. Very sort of nautical. Is that the right word? Nautical. Here's a Steins. Just been here for a while now. Steins, if you ate some Steins for a schnitzel, you would be paying, this is a Bavarian speciality, you would be paying £18.90 to £23.50. If you want Bayerische currywurst, okay, it's £16.40. And a Goulash Eintopf is £10.90. So there's some ideas. This is not the Stein, this is the, what's it called? Ocean Basket, which is new. That only opened I say relatively new, maybe 6 months ago, something like that. So this is a spot, everybody sits here, and as you can see, feeds the swans and the geese. And the pigeons are pretty keen as well, but I think pigeons are probably learned not to get into too much of an argument with the swans and the geese, because they can be quite aggressive. Got a poodle there, looks like it's had its hair cut. So let's just give you a look up the river. There we go. And then people eating. It's very popular. I mean, the Ocean Basket wasn't here, and it's absolutely packed. So, you know, having a restaurant in Kingston is a competitive business, to put it mildly. But the riverside spots are lovely, and I think we could probably do with. I think, you know, Britain has a bit of an issue with mid-good level restaurants. And this is what I like, these overhanging things. As I said, very nautical. And this is the Mimosa Yacht Club. Very busy on a Saturday morning. Always busy on a Saturday morning. We're here in the afternoon now. So it gets a bit narrow through here, and we've got dogs and bikes and people, things like that. Little Boston there.
She's like, no, I'm staying here. I'm like, yeah, mate.
In case you hadn't noticed, we are dog lovers, and dogs do have a tendency to come up and say hello to us.
Definitely.
They do, don't they?
They do, yeah.
And cats as well, actually.
They just know.
Cats especially love Luke, don't they?
Yeah. I like cats though.
Yeah. And then dogs are a little bit more me, but it varies. So I'm just going to show you. So people are sitting around the pubs now. We've got a pub garden, and then we've got an open space. And I'm going to show you my favourite boat decoration. So this is sort of an open public area here, and people come with skateboards and things. This is Eagle Brewery Wharf. So the Eagle Brewery has quite a long history here. Don't know if they put the history of it here. No. So they're sort of working to... let's have a look. No, they're still not telling us. So there was a brewery here. I'll see if I can find the sign to give you the information. And if you look, I don't know if you can see in the distance, you've got the Ram pub. Great big sign. I think this might be their garden, although I'm used to it being a lot smaller. So here's my favourite boat. I'll show you my favourite boat, shall I? Here we go. You reckon that's My Little Pony?
Hard to say. Might be.
So this boat changes its decoration regularly throughout the year. I think that's a My Little Pony with an alien on top of it. That's my guess. And then we've got some deer, some penguins, squirrels, ducks, flamingos, and as usual, a doggy with a hat. So this is Whirligig, and you may well have, if you walk along here, you will know Whirligig, as it's always got loads of stuff on it. And I always look forward to the sort of Christmas thing. Now I'm just going to sidle up. I hope this chap doesn't mind, because I'm going to read this sign about. Oh no, it's quite alright, sorry. So this is the spot of the Eagle Brewery Wharf. So Thomas Pricker founded his Eagle Brewery early in the 19th century, passed it to his son, and the business ended up run by trustees until the brewery and the Tide public houses were sold on auction to Hodgson's Kingston Brewery in 1903, and that's why this is called Eagle Brewery Wharf. And I think a lot of people are completely unaware that there was a well-known brewery that was quite historic here. Now let's move on. This chap can put his lunch back again. You have to style it out a bit sometimes. And just say, yeah, I'm here. Right, so these bikes used to be a lot nicer, but they're kind of rusted and become overgrown, which is art of its own. It's living art that way, isn't it? But they used to be a lot brighter and prettier. But, you know, I can live with them not being that way either. So this is Woodies. If you come along in the morning, you'll see them putting all the seats out and stuff. And they also do a lot of vegan-based fare as well at Woodies. Yeah, Lukey has a bit of a cough at the moment, don't you?
Yeah.
Just wait for it to go away. That's all.
Yeah.
If you could just go away, that would be lovely.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Here we have some more of the lovely houseboats along here. Lady Fantasy, which has also been along here a long time. And we are entering Charter Quay. Let's continue to look at the boats a bit, shall we? Oh look, they have a party over there. Not seen that before with balloons and everything. So this is a bit of a meandering walk, bits of history showing you the river. And anybody thinking of moving to Kingston or whose kids maybe are coming as students along here. So students are just coming back to the unis now. This is what it looks like alongside the river. I think it's lovely. I actually really like the riverside in Kingston. Here's some of the development of Charter Quay. So that went up many years ago now. I think, Luke, you were a baby, I think, when it went up.
Yeah, I might have been.
So you're 23 now, so yeah, it's been up for a while. And you're not allowed to fish from here. It's a wild fowl conservation area as well. We've got some more boaty things. So yes, actually I was wrong. It was completed in 2003, but I do remember when it was going up when you were tiny.
Yeah.
Because my parents used to come and babysit and take Luke for walks in his pushchair. And they said, could we just buy a flat here for them? No, was the answer. No, quite pricey.
And you.
It is, by the way, Charter Quay, the largest mixed-use development in the UK. And one of the roofs has a herb garden. It says don't feed the birds. You see you've got some water down here as well. So everything's low at the moment. The water levels are low because we've been short of rain. I'm going to give you my favourite view, other than the cranes, because there's a lot of building work at the moment. Just trying not to ruin their picture. So that is actually probably my favourite view in Kingston, as you look up towards the Clattern Bridge, which we'll be going to in a moment, and through to the Guildhall. I just really like it. If we ever get visitors, I always get them to take a shot here, as these people are doing right next to me right now. See, we've got some ducks. Hello, duckies. Bobbing about. Let's just get past while they're redoing their shots. There's Brown's been in there for afternoon tea. And there's Kingston Bridge. We'll see if we can end the walk around Kingston Bridge for you. Might be able to do that. But we're going to go through here now. This, by the way, this is opened by HRH, the Duke of Kent, in June 2001. Why am I showing you the water again? Because this is the Hogs Mill River. We're just going to walk alongside the Hogs Mill River now as we walk through the square here. I love the sculpture here, the birdie sculpture, ducky sculpture. As I said, technical language always on this channel. And then we have the coffee shop, which is always full of Greeks. And you know that because they've got like Greek coffees in here. You don't tend to see. So if you want a, what have you got? Any shot of spirit, £6. Double and mixer, £8. With Bailey's, £7. Okay, and they've got paninis. And it's like a suburb of Athens on a hot day. So, which is nice because, you know, got the Greek connection in our family. So, hey, swans and ducks on the Hogs Mill River. Kingston Museum has a 900 AD log canoe from here, which can be imagined being used to explore the inlets and reed beds of the Hogs Mill River. We actually tend to walk the Hogs Mill further upstream, the sort of Tolworth area. The archaeological dig that preceded the Charter Quay building works discovered history laid upon history, and we might get a chance to discuss that again. and all of it bound one way or another to boats, because Kingston at the end of the day was built on boats. And then the marketplace, which we should make it to as well. Just going to show you through here a bit. Got the Rose Theatre over there. Not been there in quite some time. Quite some time. Got a lot of people here. Don't know why. Let's just walk through here. I don't know if they're queuing. Surely they're not queuing. Right, let's just get through here. Another look at Hogsmill here. Wow, it's not usually like this here. They do seem to be queuing, which is a surprise. Here we go. We're going to come through the other side of that, and I'll show you later that one. That's Poor Boys. Got some cocktails. Very, very popular through there. Then you've got this sort of decoration-y thing here. As we approach the Clattern Bridge, so we've got a young swan there, judging by its plumage. Nice little movement in the water at the moment. We've got these buildings here. I don't know anything about these. Pop it in comments if you do. And I'll just point you in that direction. As we approach the Clattern Bridge and the swans looking to see if we've got any food for them, which we do not. I mentioned to you that the Queen's Promenade goes as far as the High Street in Kingston, having started at Ravensgate. And this is the Clattern Bridge, the oldest surviving bridge in London. It's thought to have been built in the 12th century. The earliest known mention of it is in a deed of 1293. Sorry. There we are, that will take us into Kingston. Just going to cross over here a moment, see if I can show you the Coronation Stone. So you saw the stone arches, which are just lovely. And it's thought to have been built probably in 1180. And there we got a little sign about it. Early references to the bridge use the medieval name, and I love this, by the way. Can you see the sign, the fish, symbol of Kingston? So it was Clattern Bridge, or Brigger, thought to have been a description of the sound of horse hooves crossing the bridge to and from the market. So there's Kingston Guildhall. As I said, doesn't cross the River Thames, but the Hogsmill. And the Hogsmill's claim to fame is that it appears in the John Mills painting of Hamlet's Ophelia. And it is an ancient monument. Actually got called an ancient monument in 1938, and it is now Grade 1 listed, which means you can't touch that baby. No. So, Kingston Police Station, let's see if we can cross. I'm going to cross and hope that car notices that we're here. Hit and miss sometimes, but it just seemed to have picked it up. As we go over to the Coronation Stone. So Hogsmill passing under there. On my failed filming last time, I did actually ask if I could pop in and record it, but I mean, yeah, you can. And why is there a Coronation Stone? Because Kingston upon Thames is the coronation site of as many as 7 Saxon kings and the birthplace of England. I won't go into that history, I haven't written up my notes. So the first surviving record of Kingston is from AD 838 as the site of a meeting between King Egbert of Wessex and Ceolnoth or Keilnoth, the Archbishop of Canterbury. They all met together. Kingston lay on the boundary between the ancient kingdoms of Wessex and Mercia until in the early 10th century when King Athelstan united both to create the Kingdom of England. And probably because of the town's symbolic location, those kings were crowned in Kingston. So Let's just have a look. I can't read them all. Let's see if I can find some that I can read. And my Latin numbers don't... D, is that... What's D? I know my C's and my L's and my X's and my V's, but I'm not sure my D's. Is that a 2,000 or 1,000? Somebody pop that. So we have, I think that says Edward. Edward, yes, that says Edward. Is this my testing of Saxon writing? Ace, no, can't say that one. Aid breadth? I'm going to say age breadth. Something like that. As I just walk around trying to say Saxon names. I really love it here. Edmund. That one says Edmund. I'm sure that one says Edmund. I could just look up as to who was crowned here, couldn't I? And act as if I can read them. Athelstan. I know that from watching Vikings. And we seem to have another Edward here. Is this fun? Is this fun as I go around reading them? And we have another Ethelred here. There's a great bit of footage for you, isn't it? Yeah, it's fascinating. It says Courts and Office over here, and then we got the Jubilee Trail, and it's got information about the Coronation Stone. So to commemorate the Platinum Jubilee of Elizabeth II, this information board was commissioned to give us information. And apparently the stone was officially unveiled 19th of September 1850 to great celebrations, but it was moved. So yes, the late Saxon chapel at St Mary's outside All Saints Church, which collapsed in 1730 and was a mounting block for the marketplace, and actually that's where the Coronation Stone was originally, and they moved it here. Let's head towards the marketplace. As I said, I don't know if we'll do the bridge or not. Let's see if we get that far. Yes, so yeah, as I said, Coronation Kings they took place in the Chapel of St Mary, just to the south of what is now All Saints Church, which you do see on the marketplace. Yes, that's right. St Mary is actually built in the 11th century. Now I remember that story. Collapsed in 1730, killing the sexton, but miraculously his daughter and son, who were digging graves alongside him, survived after 7 hours in the rubble. And his daughter, who had dug graves since the age of 13, became his sexton. A large stone recovered from the ruins has been regarded since the 18th century as the Coronation Stone, made of sarsen stone. And there ends the story of the Coronation Stone. Let's cross, see if I can avoid some cars. This is the High Street.
Yeah, we did. We barely even asked any clues.
We're going to head this way now.
I think we asked like 4 clues.
Back over the Clattern Bridge.
No, there's like, if you ask like...
There we go. And we're heading to the marketplace now.
Maybe a fan.
You can smell food now. You can smell pizzas and pastas and burgers. And all those sorts of things. I see Zizzy over there. And let's walk through the market place and end at the bridge. Some cakes in the window here.
That's what I was just about to say.
And we are now at the other end of the Griffin Arcade. So if you remember, I showed you the queue, which shocked and surprised me, of the Griffin Arcade. And that's where I went a week or so ago with my friends to celebrate belatedly my birthday. We had a lovely cake. This is the Druid's Head, which is a very historic pub in Kingston. Jerome K. Jerome. Sorry, it's got the scaffolding now. But Jerome K. Jerome, the Victorian travel writer, wrote his novel 3 Men in a Boat in the Druid's Head. You saw the beer garden at the back. But it's one of Kingston's oldest pub. And Jerome K. Jerome hired his wooden camping skiff from Turks. You saw Turks. And spent his 1888 honeymoon rowing his new wife from Kingston to Oxford as research for the book 3 Men in a Boat. So here is the market square. Sorry, Marketplace. I have to stop calling it Market Square. Excuse me. So been around since about 1170 when Henry II was on the throne. First market was recorded in 1242 and the town has been a major trading centre since 1170. Now what they did here was they got hold of a royal charter and that gave the town the right to operate a market. King John granted the first one in 1208, but Charles I granted the most influential charter in 1628 when he granted Kingston the unique right to a monopoly over markets within a 7-mile radius of the town. Can you imagine how very helpful that was? So it got a unique right. Some of Kingston's oldest established industries were located around the marketplace, including malting, tanning and candle making, which have shaped the look of the marketplace today. It's also been a place of punishment because it had stocks. Now the reason I'm circling a bit is we've got the All Saints Church, don't know if you can catch that just through there, which I've already mentioned, and the 19th century market house, which is there. Built in 1840, Italianate style, if you recognise that from Covent Garden, for example. And the statue, the reason I'm hovering even longer is that the statue is not Queen Victoria, okay? It is Queen Anne. And it's been standing on the balcony since 1840. There you go. A lot of people think it's Victoria. It's not. Representing Kingston's most prosperous period in history. The work of eminent sculptor Francis Bird. Right, let's go along the food stalls as usual. If I come through here, I always show you the food stalls. Let's do that. And then we'll head towards the bridge to finish the walk. You can smell the food here. Always smell the food. Shops are sort of going in and out of business along here at quite a speed, I have to say. And we've obviously got these very dramatic looking historic buildings here, done by Boots. So Boots used to do this. If Boots bought a building, they would decorate it in this way. Numbers 15 and 16 Marketplace, occupying those two plots at the head of the marketplace, is a replacement or at least a refronting of its predecessor, which was built in 1880. Built by Boots the chemist in 1909 and extended 1929 and is grade 2 listed. Boots loved a Jacobean revival. There we go, and there's the back of the hall in the centre. Let's head to the bridge. Let's walk along here. Missing out the shrub shoal passage, but you can probably see that in another of my walks, where they give a kind of potted history of the town. You can see John Lewis in the distance. It says it's 20 to 12 on that clock, which is incorrect. There's some horse poo down here, so horses have been trotting around as well. So nearly every single one of these shops has gone out of business, had somebody else go in there, they've gone out of business. Rohan actually has stayed the course. There's money to be made in walking, apparently. Yet to make money out of walking, that would be nice. So on YouTube, if you're interested, if you monetize is when you put adverts on your videos. You have to meet a threshold for them to pay, for YouTube to pay you money. I've made so little money from those adverts that I've been in a year and a half. They haven't paid me at all because I just haven't met thresholds. Some people do YouTube videos saying what I earned when I monetize. It's like, yeah, a few pounds in a few years. So yeah, has a little insight into YouTube. Another lovely old building. Round the corner past TK Maxx, getting ready for Halloween. So we are mid-September now. Halloween approaches. Little ones charging about. So as we approach Kingston Bridge, so it's a road bridge. You'll see that in a sec. Kingston upon Thames, southwest London is where we are now, and this carries the A308 across the River Thames. It is on the reach above Teddington Lock. Check out my Teddington Lock walk. And it's downstream from the Hogs Mill mouth, which we just saw, and the Thames Path. So if you saw my previous video walking along the Thames in the heat, that was on the Thames Path as well. So the Thames Path crosses the river here. This part of the river is owned by the Environment Agency. It is non-tidal, with Teddington Lock further east along the river. As I said, do see that video, it's very nice. It's the end of the tidal Thames and the end of the Port of London Authority. So kind of got a bit of a divide between here and Teddington. And until Putney Bridge was opened in 1729, Kingston Bridge was the only crossing of the river between London Bridge, which you will see in my river walk, and Thames Bridge, which is further up from here. And the bridge reputedly existed during Anglo-Saxon times. Let's have a look down the river. And this is where you join Kingston to Hampton Court Park, Bushy Park, and the village of Hampton Wick, which is in the London Borough of Richmond, by the way. So right here we're in Kingston, we cross the bridge, we are in Richmond. The statistic is it carries about 50,000 vehicles a day, around 2,000 vehicles an hour during peak times. And it actually used to be wider, and it actually used to be in a slightly different spot. So this bridge is about 100 feet upstream from its predecessor. And so you can't see it from here, but Old Bridge Street on the Hampton Wick side is where the old Kingston Bridge ended. So we're actually slightly upriver from where it used to be. I can just show you in that direction. As I say, we've got some clouds, quite a lot of people here. Now, I'm pointing at you at John Lewis for a reason. When they did the building work for John Lewis, so that's actually the old eastern bank of the old bridge. So when they built John Lewis, sorry, just getting past their picture, they found an ancient undercroft and the old remains of the medieval bridge. And they're kind of in the John Lewis cellar now, I think, something like that. So there you go, there's an ancient undercroft and the ends of the medieval bridge at the bottom of John Lewis. So as I show you a train in the distance, I'm going to turn you back towards the riverside and finish the walk here. So I do hope you've enjoyed this riverside walk at the end of the summer, in my opinion, okay, as we watch the paddleboarders and the ducks and the geese and the people relaxing and having a lovely time in the sunshine. I really hope you enjoyed this walk, and I will see you next time. Bye bye. And yep, as predicted, I am at Mimosa Artisan Produce Coffee Shop and Cake Shop, and we are going to have some cakes in a moment. What's that, rosemary? I'll do you a quick vid when the cake comes. I'm sitting outside 63 Streets at the moment. Real Vietnamese food, and the market square is in that direction. And I am at, you see that, Mimosa. Come in and enjoy a coffee and a Nata. I will not show you my friend who's just joined me. It's fine. Okay, here is my latte. Here are my Natas, and here's a cold drink of some description. There you go, natural carbonica natural. That's my best accent. I'm not going to say that properly. Courtesy of my lovely friends to celebrate my birthday. I'll show you inside in a sec. My camera just stopped filming again. There is cheese and charcuteries. Hope you enjoyed that quick look around Mimosa in Kingston. Bye.